In a quaint little town, nestled between rolling hills and whispering streams, there lived a woman named Margaret. At 75, she had grown accustomed to the rhythm of her days, filled with the gentle hum of her garden and the soft rustle of pages turning as she lost herself in novels. The world had changed around her, but she had found comfort in her routines, her memories, and the quiet solitude of her little home. Yet beneath the layers of her ordinary life, there lingered a yearning for companionship, a flicker of hope that perhaps love could still find her, even in the twilight of her years. Margaret had once known love, a deep and abiding love that had filled her heart to the brim. She had married Henry in the summer of 1965, and for nearly 4 decades, they had shared laughter, dreams, and the kind of intimacy that only time can forge. They had traveled to distant lands, danced under the stars, and raised 2 beautiful children who had since flown the nest to build lives of their own. But life, as it often does, had woven a different tale. Henry had passed away 5 years prior, leaving a void in Margaret's heart that seemed insurmountable. The days without him were long, and the nights stretched endlessly, filled with echoes of their shared laughter and the warmth of his embrace. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves turned to shades of gold and crimson, Margaret decided to take a stroll through the town's park. She had always found solace in nature, and today felt like a day for a gentle walk to clear her mind. As she ambled along the winding paths, she noticed the laughter of children playing and couples strolling hand in hand. A pang of nostalgia washed over her, but she pressed on, determined to embrace the beauty around her. As she approached a small bench overlooking a serene pond, she spotted a figure sitting alone. It was a man, his silver hair glinting in the sunlight, his face lined with the marks of time. There was something familiar about him, a warmth that drew her in. She hesitated for a moment, then decided to take a seat beside him. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" she said, her voice soft yet steady. The man turned to her, his blue eyes sparkling with recognition. "Indeed it is. I'm Thomas," he replied, a smile breaking across his face. "And you must be Margaret. I've heard so much about you." Margaret's heart skipped a beat. Thomas had been a good friend of Henry's, a fellow veteran who had shared stories and laughter over many a barbecue. They hadn't seen each other since the funeral, and the years had slipped by like grains of sand. "It's been quite a while," she said, her voice tinged with nostalgia. "Yes, it has. Life has a way of pulling us in different directions," he replied, his gaze drifting to the pond. They shared stories of the past, reminiscing about the days when they had gathered with friends, shared meals, and celebrated life's milestones. The conversation flowed easily, as if no time had passed at all. Thomas spoke of his late wife, a vibrant woman who had filled his life with joy and laughter until her own passing 2 years prior. He spoke of his children who lived far away, and the loneliness that had settled into his heart since her departure. Margaret listened, her heart aching for him, recognizing the shared pain of loss that bound them together. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the park, she found herself laughing at Thomas's witty anecdotes, the sound of their laughter mingling with the rustling leaves. Days turned into weeks, and Margaret and Thomas began to meet regularly at the park. They would sit on that same bench, sharing stories, dreams, and the quiet moments that seemed to stretch into eternity. They discovered a shared love for gardening, books, and the simple pleasures of life. Margaret found herself looking forward to their meetings, her heart warming with each shared smile, each gentle touch of their hands as they laughed or offered comfort. One afternoon, as they sat together, Thomas turned to her with a seriousness that made her heart race. "Margaret, I've been thinking," he began, his voice soft yet earnest. "I've spent so much time alone since losing my wife, and while I cherish the memories, I find myself longing for companionship again. You've brought light back into my life, and I wonder if you might feel the same." Margaret's heart fluttered at his words. She had felt the same pull, the same desire for connection that had been absent for so long. "I do, Thomas," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've missed having someone to share my days with. I never thought I would feel this way again." Thomas reached for her hand, their fingers intertwining, as if they had been made to fit together. "Then, let's explore this together," he said, his eyes searching hers for understanding. "Let's not let our age define us. Let's create new memories, find joy in each other's company, and see where this journey takes us." And so began a new chapter in their lives, one filled with laughter, shared meals, and the tender moments that had once seemed lost. They celebrated small victories, like the first bloom of spring flowers in Margaret's garden, or the successful attempt at baking a pie that didn't collapse. They traveled to nearby towns, exploring quaint shops and savoring the flavors of new cuisines. With each passing day, their bond deepened, transcending the boundaries of friendship and blossoming into a love that felt both exhilarating and comforting. As they walked hand in hand through the park, Margaret marveled at how love had transformed. It was no longer the passionate whirlwind of her youth, but a gentle, steady flame that warmed her heart. They spoke of their hopes and dreams, their fears and regrets, and in those conversations, they found healing. They discovered the beauty of vulnerability, the strength that came from sharing their lives once more. Months passed, and autumn gave way to winter. The first snowflakes of the season fell softly, blanketing the town in a serene hush. Margaret and Thomas decided to host a small gathering, inviting their children and a few close friends to celebrate the holidays. As they decorated the tree together, laughter filled the air, and the warmth of their companionship enveloped the room. On Christmas Eve, surrounded by the glow of twinkling lights and the scent of pine, Thomas took Margaret's hands in his. "I never thought I would find love again," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "But here we are, creating a beautiful life together. You've shown me that love doesn't fade. It simply changes shape." Margaret's eyes glistened with unshed tears. "You filled a void I thought would remain forever. I'm grateful for every moment we share, for the laughter and the quiet times, for the way you see me." As the clock struck midnight, they exchanged soft kisses, sealing their newfound love with promises of many more memories to come. They danced slowly to a song that played softly in the background. Surrounded by the warmth of family and friends, their hearts intertwined in a way that felt both new and familiar. In the months that followed, Margaret and Thomas continued to grow together, embracing all that life had to offer. They learned to navigate the challenges of aging side by side, finding joy in the small moments: the morning sun filtering through the curtains, the sound of rain tapping against the window, the shared cups of tea that lingered into the evening. Their love had become a tapestry, woven from the threads of their past and the bright colors of their present, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As spring bloomed once more, Margaret found herself tending to her garden with renewed vigor. She planted flowers that reminded her of Henry, but she also added new blooms that symbolized her journey with Thomas. Each flower became a reminder of the love that had blossomed in unexpected ways, a celebration of the connections that had formed in the twilight of their lives. One sunny afternoon, as they sat together in the garden, Thomas turned to her with a smile. "You know, I think we're just getting started," he said, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "There's a whole world out there waiting for us." Margaret laughed, her heart swelling with joy. "I believe you're right. Let's make the most of every day." And so they did. Together, they embraced life with open hearts, proving that love knows no age and that the connections we forge can light the way, no matter how late in life they may come. In each other, they found not only companionship, but a profound understanding of the beauty that lies in shared experiences, the wisdom that comes with age, and the enduring power of love that, like the seasons, continues to evolve and flourish.